So I never read the Bible or attended church or was remotely interested in God, but one day I had an encounter with Jesus, and since then life truly changed. I found peace, joy, and my purpose, and so my art practice is very much inspired by him. And my previous artworks were about my personal relationship with God, in particular expressing the change in my emotions. Joy of the Lord is a textiles rag-rugging piece that was stretched onto a large canvas to depict the overwhelming feeling of joy that I had found through Christ. In relation to this, I created a textiles installation through knitting and rag-rugging to depict the sad emotions that I had felt through depression before I had an encounter with God. The artworks I'm doing now are primarily focused on light, manipulating the formality of light in different spaces to create a narrative, to share the fundamentals of God and to open the audience's mind into, who God really is and what is out there. My interest with light started through a dissertation that I had written and found that even though the ideas of some artworks were not about God, such as Olafur Eliasson's Weather Project installation, some of the audience felt the presence of God, which was reported from The Guardian. This really intrigued me. I found that the light intensity and size of the light installation caused the audience to have a spiritual sensation despite the artwork not being about God or any forms of faith. I also found that the historical artworks that depicted the concepts of God from the Bible often had light as a symbolism and replacement for the image of God, as Fra Angelico entitled The Annunciation depicts God as a bright gold light. This led me to a rabbit hole, which I continued to research the context of light and went to different churches in Rome and in the UK. I found many obvious and also hidden windows and holes which light would pass through towards the people in the church. Light would reflect against the architecture of the building from outside, which made the building feel spiritual or a presence of God. The holes in windows that I had found also prompted me to think about how light is shown in different dimensions of spaces and how, just as light is outside of the church, shining from outside, God cannot be put in a box and be fully explained in human understanding. It's as if, because God is God, God cannot be described in mere words, as Jacob suggests in his journal, which initiated my current artworks with light. And so it's using light to lure the audience into thinking outside the scope of what more there could be in life. But it also means that the audience has to find their answers themselves concerning God. Presence is a film that I created showcasing different everyday locations, which a mysterious light can be seen in each location to suggest a higher being. I primarily use LED lights to create the light sculptures in my work, and specifically for this film, I used LED diode lights, which I individually checked and connected to make a dome-shaped light that would appear from the ground. I connected the lights together through the process of soldering the wires together. Light at the end of the tunnel is also another artwork that I made, which showcases how light can be displayed in different spaces to display a different narrative in relation to God. I created a tunnel-like shape out of MDF and drilled a hole in the wall, which the tunnel would go at the back of the wall. The audience was able to look inside of the hole to see the art piece, which the light can be detected at the end of the tunnel. and this is my art practice, displaying the fundamentals of God through manipulating light in different dimensions of space and materials.